Hell, that was fun, wasn't it? 90 minutes. We're never going to get back as England fans. Bored the shit out of probably most of continental Europe. So England have lost the final of Euro 2024. Now people, they're expecting a rant from me. They're probably going to be a bit shocked, a bit surprised, maybe a little bit let down, because I'm not going to rant, I'm not going to shout. Being a almost 49-year-old man, actually quite used to being let down and disappointed by the England national team. And did I think this time could be different? Yeah, I did. As it happens, yeah, I did. I thought this time we've got a really good set of players, world-class players. I know people are questioning Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden, but I think they're world-class. And unfortunately, we seem to have settled back into the old Sven-Göran Eriksson. Very nice man, and obviously this isn't a blast at Sven, who's obviously very unwell, but round pegs, round holes would be nice for an England fan. And we've lived through the Sven-Göran Eriksson where we had square pegs and round holes, and unfortunately Gareth Southgate seems to have done largely the same thing. Obviously we came into this competition not in the greatest form, had a few injury worries. Gareth Southgate's been maligned for picking his favourites. Showed some balls by dropping Jordan Henderson, who we all know he loved. Dropped, who else did he left out? Jack Grealish, which I think in hindsight was a huge mistake, but then he probably would have got a minute on the pitch anyway. So, and then we came into the competition, and in the first couple of games we're experimenting. We're experimenting with Trent Alexander on the right of midfield, or sitting in next to Declan Rice, and it didn't work. I mean, coming into a tournament still experimenting is a slight worry, but then obviously we haven't replaced Calvin Phillips, world renowned international football superstar that was Calvin Phillips. I think that'll come back to haunt Gareth Southgate in actual fact. But we've got used to England fans, no risk football, certainly in this tournament and slightly before it. I'm probably going to jump around sort of different bits and pieces here, so there'll probably be no continuity to this video ever, but if you've watched me before, that's not going to be any surprise to you. The game against Spain last night, we needed to start on the front foot. Take the game to Spain, get them off their game so we can play ours. What do? We'll let Spain dictate the pace. And they controlled the game, and we never really recovered. Now, I'm not saying Spain played particularly well last night, because I don't think they did. I think the first half was quite a drab, dull affair where they were both cancelling each other out. But Spain, obviously, they'd set their stall out, and we know what you're going to get with Spain. You're going to get those two young wingers. You got Rodri sat in that just runs the game, as he did last night till he went off. And we've got no focal point. So whenever we're dropping back, because Harry Kane, whether he's not fit, whether playing in the Bundesliga has left him not at the peak form as he was when he was in the Premiership, but he wasn't at it. And he might as well have had a fucking pair of gloves on, that he was playing that deep at times. So we had no outlet ball, which means we're sitting even deeper. And this, I am going to go in on Harry Kane a little bit. It was like we were playing with 10 men for most of this tournament with Harry Kane, to be fair, because he brought, I know he scored three goals, whatever it was, so he's ended up with on a six-way tie for joint scorer, but he's done nothing in this tournament really. He hasn't brought anything. His leadership skills I question. So he might as well played with the goalkeeper's gloves on. At times he was that deep. So and obviously you've got balls going out. I mean, last night, Jordan Pickford, I thought had a really good game last night, Jordan Pickford. I'm not a massive fan of Jordan Pickford, but he had a half decent shot stopping game. But the long balls he was punting up towards Harry Kane, I don't think Harry Kane won one all night. So that outlet to hold the ball up, move off, bring other people into it, which Harry Kane can do and he's good at, because he's not going to spin in behind anybody. Didn't do it. Let's be honest. We've been back-to-back finals now, and we haven't looked like winning either of them. The Italy game, we went 1-0 up and then just sat back, and it was a bit like that last night. It's sit-back football from Gareth Southgate, and they scored when they equalised. Fantastic goal from Cole Palmer. And then you're thinking, let's fucking go for it. Let's get some passion. Let's start pressing, because they look rattled. No, we'll just sit back. We'll play for fucking penalties or extra time or whatever you're going to go for it. The other thing that I've noticed in this tournament is there's no counter attack. There's no counter attack in this team. It's if the ball goes back to Jordan Pickford or the break or their move, the opposition attack breaks down, there's no moving the ball forward. It's like he gets the ball, stops the flow of the game, and then gets everybody into position. Everyone else is in position there, so there's no counter-attacking from this team at all. There's no pace until they bring on Cole Palmer. I mean, Anthony Gordon, bless him, he had 5 minutes in the tournament? Why take him? He's him. Kobe Mainoo's done a good job. He had a terrible game last night, to be fair to him, but there's no injection of pace. There's no injection of pace until these kids come on. There's been no balance since day one with any left-sided player. So you've had Trippier on the left. Looks like they're playing Bellingham out on the left for some fucking reason. Didn't get it. I say square pegs, round holes. And it's just not worked. It's not worked at all. He played for the whole tournament. He played more or less the same team every game, apart from the odd change here and there, seeing that it wasn't working. And for a man that's paid £5 million a year, if everybody else can see it's not working, how can't he? Or is he just that stubborn? I don't get it. He had the opportunity in the third group game, where we were more or less going to go through anyway, to change things up, give some of these kids a run out, give them a bit of tournament experience. Played the same fucking team again. And it was boring defensive football that was only brightened up at any stage by bringing on Cole Palmer, Eze when he came on, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, people with pace that put the fear into a fucking defender. And up until then, there was nothing. I mean, look at our route we beat Serbia. Just. Couldn't beat Denmark. Couldn't beat Slovenia. Took a miracle goal against Slovakia. Scraped past Switzerland. Literally scraped. Brilliant penalties. Played really well for 45 minutes against the Dutch in the first half, and then sat back for the second half until scoring another cracking goal from Ollie Watkins. Look who Spain beat. Germany, Italy, France, us. And they did it playing attractive, attacking, open football. Where we limped to the final, playing boring, negative, defensive football. And let's be honest, we got away with being fairly terrible through this whole tournament. Scraped to the final because we had the easy side of the draw, without beating anybody of note. And then we got found out in the final. who, and I say congratulations to Spain. I thought they were decent last night. They've been the best team in this tournament, but to be fair, there haven't been a lot to beat. Gareth Southgate's done a lot for the England national team. Brought stability, calmness, and a togetherness of the squad. A better dynamic with a very vitriolic English press. But ultimately, he's a negative manager. Tactically woeful. We were watching, me, Gary, Barry, Larry, Harry, we were watching the BBC broadcast last night, and it was either Alan Shearer or whoever the other guy was that was commentating, I can't remember who it was, said Gareth Southgate is now communicating with his team about what they're going to do tactically, changes. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's paid £5 million a year. He should be making the fucking choices. No one else. What's that about? Nice man, Gareth Southgate. Good integrity. Protected his players. But ultimately has failed now. And failed to put a team together tactically that could win this competition. Because you can only get away with luck. And people have called him a tactical genius for his substitutions. All he's done is brought the people on that should have started in the first place, for me. Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney. Why he's not brought on Cole Palmer to start a game, because he makes things happen, is incredible. It just baffles the shit out of me. Yes, we've got to 2 finals, 2 semi-finals and a quarter-final. But with these players, it's really the least we should be expecting. So for me, Gareth, your time's up, mate. Your time's up. Thank you for everything you've done. The solidity you've brought to this national team. But you're not up to it. Harry Kane. A passenger that should have been saved from himself by the manager for this tournament, because he's given nothing. Yes, he scored 3 goals, I completely get that, but he's brought nothing else. Actually, I say he's harmed the team more than he's helped, because he drops into midfield, he gets in Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden's way, and there's no outlet ball. And if you look at the stats that are all over social media, he's barely touched the ball in these games. So, yeah, another failure for England. It'll be seen as a positive, because we got to the final and we scraped to this final. We scraped to the final and we ultimately got found out by a very decent team. And congratulations to Spain. They've been the best team in this tournament by a country mile. Attacking, exciting, but there's a vulnerability there. And sadly, England, Gareth Southgate and the boys and the players have to take some criticism for this, because ultimately they're the guys that are out there. Yes, they're probably playing to a game plan, but as international players, you expect better. What do you think? No rant, just quiet, introspective thinking and thought about what could have been done differently. Everybody's got an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with opinion. People that comment on this saying, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. I've watched enough football to have an opinion, as do you guys. And I'm all for you sharing your opinions in the comments. What would you have done differently in this tournament that Gareth Southgate didn't? It's an interesting one, isn't it? So we go on to the if Gareth Southgate, and what happens next? Does Gareth walk? Obviously the FA want to keep him, and if he does go, who would you want to be the new England manager? I've enjoyed Euro 2024. Enjoyed doing the live streams with Dave. Didn't do it last night because I went and watched it with my good friend Gary, Barry, Larry, Harry, which was that was good fun. So wherever you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed the live streams. What are your thoughts on the game last night? What are your thoughts on England going forward? Leave a comment down in the comments box. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. There's a subscribe button. I'll see you soon.